Hit Him Hard. The Economist, 2013. Assad's Hollow Victory. The Economist, 2019. Syria rejoins the Arab League. The Economist, 2023. Right, so this is a casted game played between myself and X-Nihilio. He's changed his name again, obviously. And this was played on Geisa. I'm playing 7 Panzer. My adversary is playing 79Y. Sadly, I've rolled the bad side, so major skill issue on my side. It's over, etc. And this was played as the final game of the semi-final, or the losers bracket final in Emperor Nate's Warno tournament. So whoever loses this gets kicked out, and whoever wins gets to the winner bracket final because it's double elimination. So I'll go through the deployment and then I will cast the game. So starting with my deployment, because I'm me, I send us basically what's the plan here. He gets to my zone before me, he will get to here before me. But I will get to here at the same time he gets to about here. Something like that. So I can try and control my own zone by getting to one corner of my own zone. The thing is that he also gets like here at the same time, something like that. But yeah, these 2 buildings should be mine, and then I'm going to try and push across and take this. But yeah, he will get to here before me. So what am I running here? I got a Spezial Aufklärer going to here to provide visual down there. Another one going to that building we spoke about earlier. Regular Aufklärer going to the middle, because I found that once I lose my units up here I actually just can't see anything, and then it's basically impossible to get back in. I mean, it's impossible anyway, but if I have a regular recon here, there's a chance that he'll survive, and there's a chance that he'll provide good spotting. So that's why I'm doing it. Same way here, that's why there's another one there. It's always good to put those guys there. Main axis of attack on the left, so couple Strellas. Stella's pretty broken right now with the cost 15 points for what is an exceptionally good manpad at 8 or 12 availability, I don't recall. So, you know, they're going all over the place really, 3 of those. 2 cubs at the back and a supply. 2 cubs and a supply. And then Panzer Jaeger anti-tank teams and Pioneer anti-infantry team in the SPW-70. Backed up by 2 T-72Ms, a T-72M regular, which costs 150 points, and new to this patch, the M1 has been reduced to 155, which is stupid, basically. You pay 5 points for 2 front armor and 1 top armor. I think I think these tanks are too cheap anyway. I do think 7th is the better division in this matchup. They're both OP, but 7th is very OP. Regular Aufklärer going to here, and then I'm sending the transport round to here when he tries to go around. And 1 CV to cap all 3 zones, right? You have to stagger it on Bravo. If you just drive straight through, it won't cap it. Alpha, it'll cap it, and then to Charlie. And the Conquer's team's going to go to here. It's a really good place for it. Switching to my opponent's deployment. Instead of Spetsnaz Gru, he's gone for Razvedka Saperi, probably because they're cheaper. Spetsnaz Gru went up in price to match the Spezial Aufklärer price, so they're both 80 now. So Razvedka Saperi going to here. And like I said, he'll get there before I have any hope of getting here, that's why I'm not even going for it. Razvedka Saperi going to here. Motorized Radvedka and BMP-1 going to here. An OSA, T-80, BVK command tank to cap everything. OSA of course for AA, Motus dropping Metis. And here we go, so yeah, so he's bringing his Strelkies and Gazes, and I bring one of my Motschützen in Gazes, but that was a mistake. I meant to bring it in a WL50. I meant to bring it in an SPW-70. So yeah, he's bringing 2 T-80Bs at 1 vet, which is stupid because once they take a hit, their accuracy goes to nothing. And yeah, they're going to about here, and then he's got another Rosa that's going to here, and then he's got a bunch of infantry. So yeah, no helicopters off start for either player, but both players bought a lot of AA. And yeah, let's cast the game, and I'll cast it from my perspective. Like I said, this map's hilariously imbalanced because red gets to Charlie at the same time as blue does, but with his deployment, because he's not brought a lot of... I mean, he's just not going for it, even though he'll get here first. He's just not going for it. Which is interesting. So yeah, let's start the game. Right, so they're off, and everybody's going to where we said they were going to go. Yeah. Interesting that. So he bought Osa's expecting helicopters at the start, I suppose. But Cubs are better, just because of the range. The Osa's can fire a lot of missiles. And yeah, so he didn't actually go for this, even though he would get there first. He didn't go for it, which is odd. Although, you know, he's got the Resvertical Saperi here, so we'd see anybody that drives in anyway. But I obviously didn't know that he wouldn't go for this, so I unloaded conservatively anyway. Yeah, interesting start. Not sure why he chose to do that. So this, oh sorry, this is a T-80BK, not a T-80BVK, so it's worse than the T-80BVK. T-80Bs are pretty cost efficient. If you compare this to like a Chieftain Mark 11, it's just way better than the Chieftain Mark 11. But, you know, it is what it is. And yeah, the sniper team is going to beat these guys. Yeah, so he's going for like a slow mechanized start, basically, with the tanks and everything. And I'm going for a fast wheeled start because I need to try and get in my zone. Pretty much even on the points, I'll get a small tick from this. And yeah, he's bought... So he's bringing his motor strokey BMP in the BMP 1P instead of in the BMP 2, which is just way better. So I'm not sure why he does that either. Doesn't really make any sense to me. So I got into my zone, which is really surprising. If you don't believe me, just play this map a few times. You'll see exactly what I'm on about. So somehow I managed to get in my own zone. Basically for free. So yeah, an interesting decision indeed, and I should have brought some ATGM infantry teams, but I was expecting a trash fight. And here we go, so now I can't resupply on this road because the T-80s will kill it. And the other thing you can do is put a tank here and then I can't resupply on this road. So you're sort of forced, well you just, if you're on my side you get boned basically. So these Outclearer, they're dead. And yeah, I've got these T-72s up, but I wasn't sure where to use them. I should have sent them over here and just got them shooting all this. But I hadn't actually seen the T-80BVK yet. If you've got a unit you want to shoot with the unit, if it's not firing then it's wasted. Just something to keep in mind. So if you bought these tanks, you know, I want it all firing. So yeah, this is his plan to push me out of here, is to just, you know, use his superior position. So if you think about it, you know, he can stop me from these nice trees, but, you know, don't really have the same advantage in stopping him from getting into this zone until you get to his zone, basically. I suppose once you get to here, you might be able to. So yeah, you can just sort of walk in here now, and because these guys have the satchels, they can stop anything. So yeah, this was short-lived, but I was expecting this. I was expecting this to fall. So I rush forwards with the infantry because I do have this advantage, but my tanks are sort of out of position here, and then, you know, he gets 2 shots off before I get 1 shot off. Not sure why, and he hit with all 3 of his shots. So sometimes that happens. You just sort of got to cope with it. Trying to move over here to figure out what's going on. But yeah, my opponent's strategy is very odd. This T-80BK is going to be a real problem for me though. So I had a CV here that I wanted to get into this zone, and somehow from there he could see it. Or at least, I guess he just drove forwards and saw it. I'm not sure how he could have seen it otherwise. So that was my fault really, it should have been back here. But yeah, I've lost one of my T-72s. The other one's been squeezed out. And, you know, these guys... The Panzerjäger only 500 meter range, so it's difficult for him to do anything, and now he's going to get blown up by all these helicopters. And yeah, you see how precarious it is to resupply here, so the resupply will automatically drive them forwards here and then they just die. So you have to manually resupply over to here, send it to here, and then send it up. That's just the way it goes. I suppose you could say he has a similar thing on this side if he wants to use the road, but the auto pathing is better for him. So here we are, he's now firmly in my zone on this side. I bought a T-72 here just to try and stop him, but I don't have recon anymore because it all died, right? And I've got the Cubs back here. So yeah, what I need is supply, but you know, my supply keeps dying. These are pretty useful because they get the 2,800 meter range ATGM. But yeah, the accuracy on it is just really not good, so even the faggot's better. And yeah, obviously it can't really trade against the T-80B. Or T-80BK. The K stands for command, if you didn't know already. And so yeah, I'm very much losing this game. But that was expected because, you know, Geyser, that as the game goes on, the initial advantage brought by having the better side. Never mind. I was going to say that should go down, but I guess not. If he's in your zone, then you got to push him out at some point. Yeah, so I need to bring up supply, but when I bring... So now he's got this tank up here, I basically can't resupply my guys, and he's got tanks on this side. So you basically have to buy supply and then thread the needle through here and hope that tank doesn't see you, but it's going to see you. And that's kind of one of the issues with this map, right? So your only chance of keeping Charlie is attacking this, but then the red guy can just do this. Because he's got a nice clear road to it. Gets there first. He gets here when you get to about here. He's sort of boned, right? So it's like, well, okay, try and push him out here. But if you attack across here, he gets this salient, which allows him to just shoot all your guys as they're coming over. So the map's really kind of not great. You can see the cauldron, right? You're forced to attack because he gets the positional advantage. But when you attack, he has a perfect semicircle in the terrain that he can use to just kill all your guys from multiple angles. What is there to say? That's the game. So over here, he got a bit sloppy with one of his T-80s, but then I got a bit sloppy with one of my T-72s, and it got side shot because, as I was talking about, he gets the circle, and then I'm trying to send this over here, but presumably, I mean, he smoked himself, so this is actually pretty lucky. But yeah, you see he's just got an overwhelming amount of stuff. And it's very hard for me to get back in the zone. And then there you go, smoke clears and he shoots me. So I just can't get into my own zone. It's very odd, I'm not sure what can be done about it. I mean, some people have suggested reworking the zones to just put them in different places, but you'll still have this problem, that the middle of the map will work like this. Yeah. Not an easy problem to solve. So Recon's finally up here now, and now we can actually shoot these guys. And yeah, he's moved all his tanks over to here, and a bunch of them took hits, and he's trying to buy some more supply for it. Now he's running at me with a T-80BV and a T-80U and a few OSAs, and this is where these tanks really come into the road. So they're quite cheap, and they get this long-range ATGM, which doesn't really, you know, obviously like it hit and it didn't really do too much, and his is obviously better, but eventually it does stack up. It's basically, yeah, I mean, if you're playing 4th, this is sort of your only tool, but obviously 7th gets the T-72s. So we're being pushed out of this, but because he moved all his tanks over to like resupply and stuff, we can just sort of walk over here. And over here, you know, this push without infantry in front of it is now being hit by all these ATGMs. And that one shoots the OSA just because of the line of sight I've got here. I'm surprised he's not shooting the T-62. I thought the Eagle's not that important. And this conquers here, like I said, really good position. Obviously it missed the last one, and then it misses this one. But as a theoretical exercise, it's in a really good position. And like I said, the accuracy on the ATGMs isn't great, but it's doing a good job of holding them off. This missed that again. I guess I'm just bad. I mean... And over here, you know, we're starting to clear these guys out. That finally dies, 4th time lucky, and I move the CV over. Bought a T-72M, he's in gun range now. tags my mortar. I brought the BMP-1 with the Malyutka for sort of the same reason, just ATGMs. Sadly, we've got some sort of I don't want to shoot. Not sure what was going on there. He was on holding fire, or it said it was holding fire, probably because it couldn't pen this, but then shoot this one. So I bring this over, and then, uh-oh, there's no sir, and then it's dead, because before I can get out of there, I'm just going to die, right? I guess that's why you bring the OSA, just because it gets so many missiles, that in an open situation like that, you are already dead. So he's bought some more T-80 BVs, but once again, they're at 1 vet, and this is what I meant. I accidentally brought my Mott shots in the W50, which I didn't need to do. So I'm not sure why they're at 1 vet, because that makes the accuracy go to rubbish. Obviously, he still hit me. But yeah, as you take hits, it makes the accuracy get worse. The rate of fire, which is 10 by the way, doesn't change because of the autoloader. T-72s also get autoloaders. The T-55s don't. So as cohesion drops on a T-55 or a T-62, its rate of fire and its accuracy goes down. Over here, because he didn't have recon there and I had infantry in front, he just didn't see these tanks with his tanks, so we just shot that. I'm pretty sure that's a side shot, and I've got some infantry over here. So his push over here didn't really go anywhere. He was just sort of running at me with some tanks, and eventually the ATGMs made him back. I mean, I'm not sure why he backed with the T-80U, to be honest. Probably because of this. Then he buys some Gvozdika. These are the bad artillery. 180 points for 2 HE, so I'm not sure why he buys that either. And now we're just doing the classic, I'm going to smoke and run the CV in. And yeah, he's trying to counter battery that. So that's why you should always keep him in the MTLB and not in the UAZ, because I can now put this in there. And it will survive. So here we go, I'm in a zone now, and yeah, he's like constantly trying to reposition his tanks. This guy's gone all over, you know, from here to here to here, and now he's like run out of fuel, and he doesn't have any supply left. So yeah, odd situation to be in. And yeah, I mean, his tanks are better than mine, but they're also more expensive. So if you've got the micro for it, you can sort him out. Sadly, this guy's out of ammo, which is a problem you do get with Strelas. So he can't shoot this. And yeah, now he's trying to demolish the buildings. So I believe I buy my own Akats here at some point. I guess not yet. Still trying to secure my zone. So I've got the infantry, and really the only way you can deal with this is by pushing into it. But he's bought all these really expensive tanks, and you know, he doesn't have any infantry. So how can he push into it? Just trying to keep my mortar alive. We lose that Strela to the Gvozdika. And yeah, what can I say? Just waiting for things to happen. And +2 is going up. And yeah, you need some supply for his tanks. So here comes the supply. You really need to buy that preemptively, to be honest. And I'm now in quite a favourable position from getting absolutely wrecked. It's now looking pretty good for me. Sadly, you know, moving these guys out is going to be a bit difficult because of the line of sight. Oh, I guess I could move this SPW-70 to here and yeah, I didn't realise that. So these two to here and the MTLB perhaps, and they could have all shot that. And then this guy's also in a really annoying spot, because I can't actually see that, because the recon's over here, right? And so yeah, now he's trying to push me out of here. And yeah, what is there to say? If there's any awkward pauses, it's because I'm drinking some water. I've been talking for a lot today. And yeah, then I send these over, and this wasn't very smart, because obviously they're just going to get blown up, right, by all these T-80 BVs he's got. And yeah, he tries to kill the mortar, so I just move it. Sadly, I was on my resupply road, which wasn't very smart, and because I put this CV over here, I moved up to here. just for when this dies, because I know it's going to die. I mean, look at the spot it's in. So now move these over, but you'll note that all my Strelas died. There was one here is dead, there was one here is dead, there was definitely another one somewhere. This one's too far away. So these helicopters are sort of messing me up. This guy misses, but sort of expect that. So then I put this guy in here, but then he just gets rinsed like immediately. Like it's yeah, the helicopter just chews him up. Thankfully we've got the Strela. Sort of suffers the same fate. And yeah, he's building up more tanks for an attack, and he's bought 7 BMP-2s. I'm receiving Steam messages. I am receiving Steam messages. And the Strela hits the Mi-24P, which is cool. And now he's trying to shoot this CV, but like I said, he bought the dumb artillery, so it's gonna do nothing. Also, he's not actually hitting where I am. And yeah, the smoke fades, which is really, really not good. I'm pretty sure he sees this. Oh, actually, no, he doesn't. He doesn't. Because of the smoke, he doesn't actually see that. Although, this looks like he's aiming right at me. So yeah, I get that smoke back up, and then I think I buy a couple more mortars. And I buy an Acacia for, you know, to try and clear these buildings, basically. So yeah, lots of, just almost exclusively one vet everything from my opponent. Like everything's one vet, and so he can't really use the armor on this tank, because as soon as it takes a hit, the accuracy is going to go down. So you want it at 2 vet. Mortar finally explodes. The advantage of the Gvozdika is it has a 16-second aim time, as opposed to the Acacia, which has a 26-second aim time. So that makes it better at counter-battery against mortars. So that's its niche. I could have pushed over here, but I didn't know about this. And yeah, we're still +2. And yeah, there was a BMP 1P there, stood still, with 1 HP, so that's why I hit it with the Acacia. He's still trying to get the CV, and here come the BMP 2s, but for some reason his tanks are just not with them, and the rest of them aren't with them. And these tanks aren't with them, this infantry isn't with them. So you just got a bunch of BMP-2s in a line running towards me. And yeah, that's going to go about as well as you'd expect. So T-80U finally moving up here. He's just using the motor strelky to buy time, his tanks to get into position. Because obviously I have to kill these, right? And every shot fired at those is a shot not fired at something a bit more important. His recon helicopter gets tagged by the Strela, and here we go. Now it's a big, cool attack. Cool, big attack. So this guy's probably not long for this world, particularly given that the mortar died, so there's no smoke. And yeah, just with the sight lines, my recon sort of... It's very odd, right? So you put it here and then it can't see anything, and if you put it here then it just dies, so... Something I gotta sort out. Dodge that ATGM, wow, I'm so good. And yeah, even more BMP-2s, so I drive this out, wow, dodge that ATGM, wow, I'm so good. And now I am being shot at from multiple angles with my tanks, so... Should really be smoking this guy. But yeah, once again, you know, he's... Like, it's... Because of the smoke that was here for the CV, his tanks can't shoot my guys from where they are, so they need to be over here, really. So that's smoke being used effectively to stop this guy from shooting, whereas all my guys can shoot down this narrow tunnel. This smoke here means that his guys, you know, they couldn't shoot. Obviously these guys can shoot, so that is a problem. And yeah, more T-72Ms, really cool tank battle here. That Mi-24 finally overstays his welcome. This guy used a lot of his rounds, but he's got the supply. Burrito being brought up, and you got to ask yourself, imagine if he'd waited for that before doing this attack. Because now his attack has 380 points less reinforcements, because he bought a Burrito, and most of his screen and infantry is already dead. We're both running into the interesting line of sight issues on this map. I'm not smoking effectively. That Conquer's team finally goes down. It's weird, these guys keep reorientating. The guys that pushed across here died. But yeah, he... You know, his push kind of just got absolutely smacked there. Buying the burrito, probably not a good idea. The TATU barely managed to shoot at all, just because it was here, and this smoke cloud was here, and all my units were back here, so the smoke stopped him from shooting. The Strela's having a bad time, but yeah, we've got 2 expensive supplies here. Remember, the 3rd expensive supply died. I bought a seed, but obviously I'm against a good player, so his 55% accuracy Eagle attacks my 40% ECM plane, because he's good, but then his missiles miss, so I guess he's bad. But then my Cubs miss, so I guess he's good. And yeah, so I was trying to clear these buildings out, and yeah, more smoke. Let's just do the same thing again. I know he's got very little infantry left. I didn't actually know about this, or at least, well, maybe I did, because I'm actually running that in. And yeah, once again you get the OSA problem where it's just like 1-2, like once the first one hits you, you can't do anything about it, you're just dead. You're just dead. And nobody over here, which is interesting. So a lot of these units are sort of sitting idle. Perhaps a mistake, but he's done the same. He's got 2 units in transports over here. The Gvozdika needs supplying a lot, and so does the Burrito, and so do all his heavy tanks. And that's the issue 79Y has, which is as the game goes late, you start running out of supply. But I lost one of my munitions to it being sniped, so that's like 2,000 supply gone, and then I lose that one to the Burrito. It was almost empty anyway, but then I lose that one to the Burrito, so I just lost 4,000 supply to the enemy. You know, well, one here. And I really could have used that to repair my tanks, because tanks take a lot of supply to repair and rearm now. So that's really not great. So even though it looks like he didn't really kill that many of my units there, he got something extremely crucial. And over here, because he's not got any infantry, he's just... yeah, he needs to drive somebody into here, like a TATU perhaps. But yeah, we're on the case with the... Mort Schutzen. I was just going to put it in front because I can see this guy advancing down here, I'm pretty sure. So I knew it was coming. So we've got this guy in front. And yeah, he's just they're gonna drive into each other, but I have a 2-second aim time, he has a 3-second aim time. On this, I also have a better aim time than this. And so yeah, we just get that. More reinforcements from my adversary, and yeah, he's trying to hit the mortar again. Sadly, the MTLB is not right next to it, but yeah, I bought another mortar. Bought some infantry for over here, so I can try and push into here. But yeah, without recon corrected accuracy, it doesn't really do too much. This guy is actually really annoying, because I can't see him because of lack of recon. Pretty sure I see that tank and then I don't, and then I do again, and these guys are classed as being in that building because of the ruins mechanics. So I'm like eating side shots there, and I can't really see him because I did have a recon here, but it died in the Burrito Volley, I believe. So support micro from me. I need a recon. I really need a recon because I just can't see. I can't see him. And yeah, then we smoke with the other mortar. The Akatsuya's out of rounds, but I'm not resupplying it because I lost 4,000 supply. I need it all. Need it all for my tanks. I'm pretty sure I've just ran out of supply anyway. So here we go. Here's the recon. Like, this guy's low and I can't afford to bring him back. This guy is sort of a bit of an overmatched situation, and then yeah, that wasn't very intelligent of me. But yeah, over here he's sort of got the same problem, whereas the MP1 wasn't in the right place, so his tank couldn't see my tank. So I got shot off at him for free there. And you can tell he's running out of supply as well. Because look, he's trying to resupply all this artillery. So yeah, I really love the refreshing taste of water. Now he's bought some mortars. Could use some infantry. All you got to do is have the tanks in the back and just run the infantry through here. But yeah, needs doing. You need some satchel charges, really. That's very useful to have. Over here, we've both sort of finally realised that this is empty. And yeah, I deployed some units here to try and push over, and I've still got these guys here from before, so that's going to help me against this for now. Although if he runs it away, I probably won't be able to see him anymore. Interesting. And yeah, I lost a Strela apparently over here. Yeah, so this whole game I've been making a big mistake, which is not having about 3 infantry here behind the houses. Because obviously I keep getting them, putting them here, and then his tanks kill him. And yeah, he's attacking me again with some more 1-vet tanks, 1-vet infantry, and 1-vet IFVs. I did see that he had a military police unit, so maybe that was the idea. 1-vet and then lots of military police, but he's not really purchased it. And yeah, this guy's getting hit by a lot of things. This guy's repairing with what remains of my supply. Thankfully, the RPG on these guys is terrible. Even when it hits, it basically just does 1 damage. Same with the faggot on this, I think that just did 2 pips. And yeah, so he's not got his AA with him, so we can use this now. We lost the good one, so we're down to the bad one. Only 57mm rockets on this. On this side, I wasn't looking over here, because I was looking at this, and so these guys won their little fight, didn't pursue, and then are basically dying for free. Still smoking. And yeah, even more artillery from my adversary. I mean, yeah, it is an interesting strategy. You could... Yeah, like he doesn't really have enough supply to keep all this going, basically. Lots of empties. You can sell these, by the way. I don't think I was selling mine properly either, like this one. Just sold that. Meanwhile, I can just crank these guys out at a rate of, you know, 1 a minute. 1 a minute plus a unit of infantry, something like that. Or none for 2 minutes, and then 1 a minute, and then 2 a minute. But yeah, once again, the LOS, right, so like, what? Yeah, it's, whenever I get the recon, it always dies. And then, yeah, I lose that to the motor Mimesis, and the Acacia, I'm now going to use the direct fire capability. For some reason, this 152mm shell only has 13 pen. Not sure why. I guess because it's heat or something, I don't know. Barrel pressures, I'm really not sure. And then, yeah, this guy's getting good side shot opportunities, we should say. I mean, that was obviously a big miss. And yeah, just keep the mortars moving, keep it smoked up. He needs to run some infantry in there, but he just keeps buying tanks for it. Here comes the infantry, but he's running these across here, so these guys can shoot him. So yeah, it's he's sort of got the same problem with these Gvozdikas, right? So he's trying to use those in the tank fire capability. Turns out these guys have a 75% stabilizer on their flamethrowers. I had no idea. That's actually hilarious, dude. But yeah, we're just nailing that guy. And then, yeah, we get set up in the smoke. And this is really interesting, so I want you to watch this. So here comes the BMP-2. And it drives up to this guy. And then shoots him in the back. And then shoots the CV. So I should have had this infantry in there, but I did not. And because if I did, then I could have just done this. So my bad. But with the smoke's pretty broken right now. The view distance within the smoke is like 50 meters. So he was able to drive right past me and not, you know, I couldn't shoot him because I didn't see him. So yeah, smoke, the vision within smoke needs to be better. I think the fact that smoke is just a wall, I think that needs to be fixed as well. I'd like to see it more of like a you know, maybe you can see through the outside, but if the smoke's thick enough, you can't see the inside. So here we go, he's hitting this again, but there's actually not that much there now. Because most of the tanks are dead, actually. We've got 2 more T-72s over here, and we've taken this part. But I'm not sure how this is going to go. Well, that's sort of as you'd expect. So this guy's probably going to die now. Yeah. And yeah, let's just send another CV in and then buy another one for back here. I bought another Akats here and sent this one forwards as a direct fire tank gun. And yeah, so there's the... Now he's sending infantry, but you know. So a cool T-62 1-vet attack here, backed up by a T-80U 1-vet and some 1-vet infantry. Yeah, they're you know, they're killing people. It's definitely something happening. This guy I have on low altitude and around here, so he can actually see that T-80BK. The Phalanger is terrible though, so it's probably not going to do a whole lot. And then all my BMP ones, or at least a lot of them, I'd sort of saved up and put here, so they're getting funny side shots off on, just because the tree lines are so weird here. They're just getting funny side shots off on these guys. This T-80 has been alive all game. He's been killing a lot, but you know, you gotta babysit him because of how expensive it is. And these T-62s, once they take a couple hits, they just become useless. So then, yeah, then we try and kill that T-80U, but it only fired 1 missile. Which is a shame. And yeah. Over here, I finally got an infantry over here. Sadly, this guy's out of Malyutkas and this guy's not out of Konkers. This is 45 points, by the way. It's very good for its price. I tried to keep these guys on some kind of combat air patrol. And yeah, so these T-80U's retreating, and I figured, oh, I really want to kill that. Really want to kill it. Yeah, then we hit this, and then we've got the Phalanger coming in over here, so he doesn't know which way to turn. So we get him. I mean, this is 3 vet. I don't know if it's just because it's because of the CV range. And then, you know, we get the OSA. Basically, he's just sort of collapsed. And we get the T-80U. His air's down. His anti-air's down, sorry. His burrito's out of ammo, can't really be resupplied anymore. And he GG's. Wow, a winner is me. And yeah, so as you can see, I'm really bad now. I'm like rank 22 because I keep playing 4th and losing. And X-Nihilio's 37, and he's got way more games than me. Well, not that many more. So we're evenly matched. So yeah, 7th is broken. I'm not sure why they buffed it. It was strong, and the strong get stronger. Great play with that CV tank, look how much it killed. T-80U did quite a bit, but was used so conservatively in the end that it didn't actually do that much. Burrito, sort of, yeah, I mean it killed my supply, but apart from that, it was used after the attack instead of before it, and so a bit of a missed opportunity there. And yeah, GG, well played.